Hello guys, and welcome to another live stream session to celebrate the 40k subscribers. I hope everyone can hear me well. If you can't hear me, please let me know, but I think everything should be fine. So tonight I will be painting the hair and the crown on this mini. The hair is already base coated, just for the sake of not having to wait for it to dry, and that has been base coated with scrap brown. If you want to follow along, I already have quite an old video by now about how to paint redhead hair, and that's what I'm going to be painting here, of course, because in this house, when in doubt, we just paint everything redhead. So before we start painting, everyone can hear me well. I will try to keep up with the comments on the chat, but as was quite obvious from my last miniature review, I cannot do two things at once. So I will try to do just painting and then move into reading some comments, because I'm horrible at multitasking. Before we start the video, please, I have quite a bit of news. I've been putting a video a week for about 2 years now, and it's gotten to the point where I cannot really keep up the same rhythm. The videos are more complex to make. Each month, each week, I add new things. The editing takes longer. They are now recorded in 4K, which makes them longer to edit. So I've decided that instead of reducing the quality, I will keep on building on that, but I will just make a long video once every other week instead of once a week, and I will fill the gaps with live streams, with the PAB, with the reviews, and all that sort of stuff. And I might start streaming on Twitch whenever I feel like it. I'm not sure about it, but I have an account already, so why not? So I'm really sorry if you just want more videos, but I cannot really keep up with this production rhythm. I have a job. This is not a full-time job, and it's not even close of being a full-time job. And yet that may change in the future, but who knows? I'm not really forcing it. Whatever happens will happen, and I will take the decision when I see it's a good idea. So I think that's all. I'm not sure, but I think that is all. So I will start painting this sweet lady. Also, I managed to secure a copy of Course City. My local GW shop manager was kind enough to save me one. So once that arrives into the GW shop, which hasn't arrived this week, maybe next week, I will start making videos about it. So expect a lot of AOS in the future, because I will probably do one video about each of the enemies, and one video for each of the heroes. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Let's see what everyone is saying. Oh, hello, Logan Green Vogler. Yeah, thank you everyone for being comprehensive. I try to be open about this kind of stuff as much as I can, but I've been literally, and this is not an exaggeration, I've been going to sleep about 2 o'clock in the morning for a very long time, just painting and editing. All that during the working days of the week, and it's gotten to a point where I just cannot do it anymore because I'm too tired. So yeah, hopefully reducing in half the amount of videos will help me be a bit better, and also maybe my wife won't feel so lonely during the weekdays. So let's start with the hair. As I said, I already have an old video about this. So if you want to go and look for it for a more in-depth or more structured tutorial, go and look for it, but I will just paint it here again. So this is a Scrag Brown, a quick base coat. We are not looking for really nothing special, and I'm going to do a sketchy highlight. This on my palette here is Best Igor Flesh, and I'm going to highlight the hair. You have to, when you paint hair, you have to think about it as if it was metallic. So kind of an exercise of NMM really, because hair is very shiny and it reflects a lot of light, and you have to think about it. So I'm going to sketch a highlight here, kind of like that. Seems reasonable. I'm not going to worry about almost anything here, about this going into the recesses or anything. I'm just going to place the main structure of highlights and shadows here. Yeah, Run with Scissors is saying that I should do sub tiers on my Patreon for people to pay for in-depth step-by-step plus longer bits. Now, this is something that I always say in my videos. There will never be content hidden behind any paywall of any kind. Sorry, so that is not going to happen. That's not something that I believe in. Others do it, and that's okay. I just want all my content to be free. That's why I don't have such a big number of Patreon supporters, but the Patreon supporters that I have are just amazing, because they just do it because they really enjoy what I do. So I really appreciate what they do for me. Are you guys going to get Curse City? Have you managed to get any copies? It's probably one of the very few GW releases that I've been excited for in a very long time. That and the Seraphon or the Listenmen Underworld's Warband, which I already have. It's already built. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. I'm just going to keep on painting this. Yeah, I've ordered the Cursed City through an official GW shop, and even they are having delays. It should have been there today, and it wasn't. So it's probably a full week of delay, even for an official GW shop. So that kind of makes you think how bad the whole situation is right now. Not nice, not even for GW. That has to be hard for them to deal with. She has a lot of braids here. You can see them. It's going to be a kind of a pain in the ass to paint. If I'm brutally honest, I may leave these braids for a later time. I'm just lazy. Oh, thank you, John Simpson. I really appreciate that, mate. That's very generous. Oh, Ramsey says I'm using Bestic or Flesh. Fantastic color for the beautiful tone. And I will later on use Cyan Skin Tone, which is one of my favorite Vallejo colors. Again, if you want a full list of all the colors I'm using, just go and check the how to paint red-haired hair in one of my older videos. Okay, this is now sketched. I'm quite happy with this. And then, this being a bust, I have to add one extra step that I haven't done when I did the other tutorial, because with that, it being a very small scale compared to this, that wasn't really needed, but for this I really do. So I'm going to take Scrap Brown again. I'm making kind of a heavy glaze, just a bit of water, nothing special, and I'm just going to glaze in this transition a little bit, so I don't have like kind of such a hard edge between the sketchy highlight and the base tone. So just this is not going to be fully blended, but just a tiny bit, so I can have an easier transition there. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I may go back later on and add a bit more of the Bestic or Flesh. Just as always, I'm moving my brush from the highlights into the parts of the Scrap Brown, so more the paint deposits there. That really helps. A lot of people are having trouble glazing, and that's mainly one of the big issues, is they are not moving their brush in the correct direction. When you're glazing to the blend, directionality of your brush is very important. That's much nicer. That will help a lot. I'm not going to do it in these small areas here, but what I will do now, I'm probably going to do another pass in some areas, like here. Now that I'm watching the live stream screen, I'm now realizing that this looks so much more saturated than in real life. So have that in mind. This camera is, for some reason, is turning the orange into super bright when it's quite desaturated. I'm going back to Bestic or Flesh, and I'm going to keep on highlighting it. I'm going to expand that area, but just on the top of the hairs. So not as chunky, more controlled. Just catching the top of the strands, really. Just like that. I probably blend it again later on with more Scrap Brown, but for the time being, I'm trying to create. When I glaze down with the Scrap Brown, I realized that I may have gone a bit too small with my first highlight. Yeah, more. I like this quite a bit more. With this kind of larger scale, the more layers you add, the more complexity you add, the better it will look. Even if you later on cover it, like I'm going to do, those kind of things show. Even if you think you can't see it, your brain kind of does, and those layers of complexity help create a more realistic effect. I really like that. Much better now. You can still see that kind of highlight pattern where there is a very bright stripe of highlight, then a little bit darker, and then lighter again. A kind of a non-metallic metal, but it does look better. Oh, Ramwis is just asking where he can find these models. Go to Instagram and look for Ayora Miniatures. He is a sculptor and painter from Spain, and he makes these busts. If you ask him for one, he will give you one. I'm going to. There you go. Yeah, this is obviously not licensed in any way, shape, or form. You can even tell because the Inquisition symbol is not really an Inquisition symbol. But yeah, it's a beautiful sculpt, and it's quite a pleasure to paint, if I'm honest. This paints really nicely. I think he makes two versions, one that is 40mm, which is this one, another one that is 50mm that has a different weapon, if I'm not mistaken, and a different face without the bionic eye. I just really prefer this one. It has bit, for me, it has much more character. Yeah, finishing the braids. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm just going to do them. Yeah, quite happy with that. I'm going to reinforce this to make the Bestigor flesh more prominent. Again, super sketchy here. You can see I'm not even, I almost no blending at all. Just reinforcing what I want my highlights to be. Let's see. I'm trying to make the image look closer to what it's in reality, because it's ridiculously saturated. Let me see if I can tweak that. That doesn't seem to want to cooperate with me, so I will just keep on painting. So that done. I'm happy with it. Looks nice. Looks exactly how I wanted it to look. A bit more highlights here. I'm going to wash this. I'm going to use Vallejo Gaming Skin Wash, which is a super orange ink, and I think it looks fantastic for this purpose. I'm going to do, let's see here so you can see it. I'm going to do 2 drops of this, and I'm going to do 4 drops of Lamia Medium, so 1 part of ink, 2 parts of Lamia Medium. There you go. So when I give any kind of mixed proportion in my videos, that's how I do it. Literally just drops. That's why one of the reasons why I have my little paints in droppers, because I really need drops. It's much easier for me. So I'm just going to apply this over all the hair. You have to be extremely careful now not to mess up with anything that you have already done. In the face, super careful here. I hope I can paint the crown as well in this video, but depending on how it goes and how much time I have, I may have to leave that for another day. Hope that is not too disappointing, but we will see. There you go. You can see that with this wash slash glaze slash, I know, tinting that we have done, the model is now looking, the hair is now looking much more realistic, trying to take some of the ink that is gone into her face. I would probably have to correct that later on. This is really tinting, so again, be very careful with the rest of the model. So if you do this over something that is already finished and on another mini, you really need to be careful. I highly recommend you do this as soon as possible in the process, because this ink really wants to stain everything that it touches. There you go, looking beautiful. I've been wanting to try oils for quite a while now. Not sure if I will. The problem is just finding time to just, you know, paint without having to make a video. That's one of the reasons that I want to make more live streams, so I can just paint a little bit. Maybe that could be a good idea to try oils during a live stream. It sounds like a fun little video there. Any of you guys here do Twitch? I have no idea about Twitch at all. So is it a good platform? A lot of people seem to enjoy it. I'm just not sure if I want to go and learn one more thing with all its nuances. So this really needs to dry fully now but I'm kind of looking amazing. I'm really happy. That glaze really unifies everything, but you can still see the main area of highlight there and there with a darker part in the middle, which is what we want. Same here on the top, and we will emphasize that a lot. Yeah, Just Simpson saying some of my FW inks get glossy. Yeah, inks are glossy. For the most part, especially artist inks, so FW inks will dry glossy as well as Liquitex inks, because they really don't care about them being matte. But I found that Vallejo Game inks are quite matte, which is awesome. It's one of the reasons that I really like them. Yeah, gaming looks is quite matte, but for example, the Scale 75 inks are extremely glossy. They are very similar in that regard to the All Citadel inks that I have a lot of them there. But I found that if I need to dilute them and using something like Lamian Medium, or even going to the extreme and just dilute them using ultramatte varnish, that will really kill everything. And even if you don't want to dilute them, a single layer of ultramatte varnish will absolutely kill any shine right away. So this Evan, thank you, Evan. I've seen a lot of people doing Twitch streaming, so I was just curious. So I might do the one if I'm not putting a video on a Friday and I don't have all the PAV or even the reviews, I may do a stream here on YouTube. But if I'm just painting, like whatever, I might just stream it, because why not? Yeah, I've only used oils for washing when I did plain models. I used to really like doing models, but that is gone now. It's only minis. That's a rabbit hole that you really don't want to go into unless you really want to paint models, plain models or tank models or whatever. Also, I don't know if I've said that, but I'm testing the new red grass hydration paper. Let me just talk about that while this dries. So red grass has sent me a sample of the new palette paper. You can see that it's supposed to be washable, and you have the red grass logo. It's not. It has sides. Let me just take one out for you. I find this is a massive improvement over their previous palette paper. You can see you have a white side, a bit glossy. There you go. And then you have a matte side with some letters in it. Focus on this. Yeah, that's super white. Hydration membrane. Then that's how you can see them. And this is all supposed to be washable. I've tried to wash them and it really works, but I really don't care about reusing my palette paper. I would just throw it into the bin and use another one, because that's just more convenient for me. But they are really washable and it really works well. You may get about 3 uses from each paper, but apart from the washable, this is my favorite palette paper I've ever tried. It's super durable, doesn't leave any fibers, and it also doesn't let too much paint go through, which was a problem that I was having with the previous version. So I'm really happy with that. Seems like this is almost dry, so I'm going to take back Bestigor Flesh and I'm going to highlight this. Now my Bestigor Flesh is a bit thinner, and I'm going to do much more controlled highlights. So I'm just going to pick up these shapes of these strands. I'm going to stop like a mid highlight when I want my main highlight, and I will do them in the other direction. There you go. Just to have a smooth blend as possible. Where you lift your brush, where you end your brush stroke, is where more paint will deposit. So you always want to move your brush in the correct direction. Yeah, it's the new hydration membrane from Redgrass. It's not available yet. It's going to be on a Kickstarter for the version 2 of the Redgrass wet palette. But I'm sure you can order just the paper. It fits perfectly well in the old palette, so it's a great choice. If you ask me, I think they're doing a fantastic job. They could have done a better job if they hired me for the community manager, which I applied for, by the way. And they just pick up another person. They wanted someone that was local, so that I can really get that. But that would be a job that I would be happy to make. You can see how the highlight works, and really emphasize the work we have previously done. I'm going to correct if you get some of this vesticore flesh into the recesses. Just do as I'm doing now and just apply a little bit of the ink in those recesses and help everything come together better. So you can see how that makes for a really shiny hair. It's starting to look shiny and lush, which is what we want. Yeah, Redgrass wet palette is my favorite wet palette. I've made my own. I've used others, and I just find this to be, it's really not that much of a difference. It's just a piece of plastic with a sponge and a piece of parchment paper inside. But it's really convenient. It's really well made, and it just works very well. I really like this very dense sponge that they have. I think that is lovely. The old hydration paper, the old paper that they use is really good. It's just that I found that it was letting too much water through at some times, and that could be a bit of annoying sometimes. Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting question. How I choose colors for a project. That is something that is very hard to explain for me, because I'm one of those lucky persons that understands or just gets color instantly. So I just look through my colors, so just by pure memory, because I know them by heart at this point. I just go and say, yeah, that is the color that I want. It's nothing that I can really explain why I thought that Basticor Flesh is the best color to highlight redhead hair. It really is, but I wasn't really thinking about it. It's just that kind of thing just clicks on my brain. But if we are talking about choosing colors for an army, for example, for a project, what I do is thinking of maybe one main color that I want, or maybe two colors that I want for the whole look of the army, and after that is chosen, and just go around and seeing, okay, what accent color can I add that looks well, and how the leathers or the armors are going to look to complement those colors very well without being too much. That's basically what I do. For example, let me just put something like that. Very good example could be my elves. This is part of my starting high elf army. There you go. So I was sure that I wanted them to be yellow mainly, with a tiny bit of teal. And after that was chosen, I just went, okay, I need one accent color, and that would be pink. And white is always a good color because it's very clean. Clean white is always a nice thing to have, so white was a very easy choice. And the armor has a slightly bluish tint, which complements the rest. And for the leathers, I went really dark, just because everything was so bright. So my leathers are relatively dark, and as you can see, I added that pink into almost every single detail that needs accentuating. And for the wood, I went for a very light wood, very simple, very nice color. So that's basically my process, really. I really hope that was useful. I'm not sure it was, but I'm trying to be. Okay, Adrian Kerr asks, what's your opinion on 3D printers? 3D printers are... You really need to understand that they are a hobby on their own. So, they are for sure going to take time away from painting or playing, because it's not that they are difficult. Especially resin 3D printers are pretty much... they pretty much work out of the box without a lot of fiddling. You may need to fiddle a bit if you change resins to find the right spot, but it's really easy, especially compared to FDM printers. FDM printers, they can really give you a really hard time to get all the settings just right. But resin printers, I have 3 resin printers. I have one for my job, which is a Formlabs Forms 2. That is just plug and play. It's the most amazing experience in terms of user friendliness in the world of 3D printing that I've ever seen. it's quite amazing what the Formlabs team has done. It comes with a very high price. I will admit that, but if you are planning to use them for a professional environment where you just need flawless printing and assurance that once you hit print and you go home, once you get back in the morning, that print will be there. They are just so good. But yeah, very expensive. Also, if you just print in with standard resins, I really think they're not worth it. I'm used them for my job, so I'm basically printing with castable resins for my jewelry, so they are invaluable to me. My Formlabs, I really couldn't do all the things that I do now without it. It's just one of those tools that once you have it, you just cannot really live without it. Yeah, Mr. Christoph Langa, that bust is from Majora Miniatures. You have the name written a little bit above. Yeah, that is. Spermi already answered. Yeah, look for it on Instagram. It's all there. You just ask him privately for one, and he will print one and send you. It is 3D printed. It's not casted. So he will print one and send it to you. Fantastic printing quality. He has the same resin printer that I use for the hobby minis, which is the Sonic Mini 4K, which I found is amazing, an amazing printer. Ridiculous amount of detail and such a joy to work with. And he will print you one for sure and send it to you wherever you are. He also made an Eldar bust not long ago, but he had to really stop making it because GW sent a pretty one of those nice letters for him to stop producing it. It was then that's why this mini is quite generic in terms of IP. So it's you can really tell this is based on the Warhammer 40k universe, but it's not really, doesn't have any standout features. Really works very well. I wish I could get one of those elves, but I really wish GW was still making busts, if I'm honest. But yeah, 3D printing, it's awesome, especially if you want to print, if you want to explore other creators. You can just subscribe to the myriad of different patrons that are now about 3D printing and 3D sculpting, and just maybe support one creator each month, try new minis from different people, and I think it's quite an amazing thing you can do now, which you couldn't not very long ago. So yeah, if you really like exploring other manufacturers, just get one. It's fantastic. have a link for. I'm going to Shield now. I have a link for 3D printers in the description. I also have links for my brushes, by the way, which is new. It's a Rosemary & Co. Series 33 brushes, size 3 specifically. I have a link for this in the description. That is new. Rosemary, after me asking for about a year for them to make it, at last I have an affiliate link, and that's amazing. I'm really happy about that. I think it's starting to look quite well. And this hair painting thing is really taking quite a while. Yeah, very happy with how the hair is looking. I might add a final highlight here near the... There you go. Just like a dot of light where the hair meets the head. Yeah, I really like how that looks. Really makes it look shinier. Yeah, Rosemary is really a small business. It's like, so that's something that I really like, and that I know I am supporting a very small business, a very small company. That is something that really resonates with me. They really are very passionate about what they do, and they do it very well. There you go. So I'm most definitely not going to be able to finish the crown on camera. I would just finish the hair and be happy with it. I'm going to darken the sunny skin tone with a bit of the flesh wash mix to blend some of the strands where I feel it's a bit too harsh, like down there. This kind of creates like an intermediate tone between what is there and what is not, and between what is there and the highlights, creating a very nicer transition. Okay, I'm really happy with how this is looking. I think I should really paint the braids. I didn't know they were from Yorkshire. That's awesome. So guys, how do you deal with this kind of repetitive tasks? Because it's really hard for me. I've been developing like kind of an immunity, like resilient to them because of my daytime job. But it's still hard for me. Painting, for example, in batches is pure nightmare. Nightmare fuel right there. Hate that stuff. Oh, awesome. A lot of people from around Rosemary and Co. That's awesome. I would really love to go one day and see them work. I can maybe ask them if they would put my name on a sorry, on a batch of brushes. I think that would be awesome. But I don't think my ego will ever be the same after that. Not that I really need any more of that. Okay, my size is size 3 and 4. Series 33, size 3 and 4. That's all. That's all I use. This is a size 3. You can see it's quite big, but it's a size that I find that is really comfortable for me. I don't really go smaller than this for anything. It just has such a nice sharp tip. It's such a joy to work with. Sorry about that. Okay, final highlights with this. I think I'm happy with how this is looking. What do you think here, guys? I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, Brian Emerson's the same. Yeah, same here. For example, this very yesterday I had to set 400 diamonds on the most boring pieces you can ever imagine, just very long Riviera style necklaces. So it's 400 stones. Took about six hours all in a row, just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And my mind just shuts off. But when I have to paint, as he was saying, I have to paint 5 minutes in a row. It's such a nightmare. I just can't stand it. So this is one of my favorite Vallejo colors. This is Sunny Skin Tone. Beautiful paint. Such a nice color. This probably is one of the paints that I recommend the most. When someone asks me what colors should I get from Vallejo, Sunny Skin Tone, 100%, number one. You cannot find this, nothing similar to this in the Citadel range. I wish, but you can't. It's just not there. And suddenly, just by applying this, look how intense that highlight turns out. Such a bright color. This looks super shiny. Yeah, but Sunny Skin Tone is a staple color for me. I just couldn't paint without Sunny Skin Tone in my regular projects. Ice Yellow is another really good Vallejo color, but Ice Yellow you can find in the Citadel range, which is Dawn Yellow. Dawn Yellow and Ice Yellow are, as close as makes no difference, the same paint. So, but this is the only paint. This and English Uniform are the two only paints from the Vallejo line that I don't find that I like, and I don't find an equivalent in the Citadel range. So those I use constantly. Yeah, Randy Travis is making a very good point. I'm going to have a drink. He's making a very good point, saying that he's scared of adding too much contrast into a paint job, and that is something that you really have to. It's like a mental barrier that you have to break. In fact, I'm probably going to go even lighter than this. But yeah, a lot of new painters struggle with this level of contrast. But once you break that barrier, it really opens a new world of possibilities. You can. The thing you have to understand is you can go much brighter than what you think you can. In essence, that is what you have to take from this. Okay, the closest GW equivalent to Ivory, I think that would be a 1-to-1 mix of Screaming Skull and white, or maybe Decepticon and white. It's a mix of one of those two colors with white. That will get you very close, but there isn't just one paint that will do it. But you can mix it fairly easily. This Sunny Skin Tone, I just can't find the right tone even with mixing, so I just use this. Why struggle when you just can get the paint and just use it? But yeah, Vallejo Ivory is one of those other Vallejo colors that I use a lot, especially when I paint gold and MM. For the video I used a mix of Decepticon and white, I believe. but for when I'm doing it by myself, I just used ivory for my final highlight, before white, that is, of course. Oh yeah, this is the consistency, so very thick. I'm not blending this. You don't have to blend everything. That's something that you need to understand. Something just if you look at how some things are in real life, they just have harsh contrast and harsh lines, and there's nothing bad about it. You don't have to be ashamed because you haven't blended absolutely everything to the absolute maximum. You can just do it like this. But I could blend it. As I said, I have like my previous mix of Vesticore Flesh and the ink mix, and I could use this to blend it. This is quite thin. You can see it there. So this tones down the very extremes of the highlight, and I can blend them in if I wanted. But yeah, the more contrast you add in something like this, like her hair, the better it will look in the end, because of course you're going to mix a bit of this. I want to darken this down a bit. I'm going to add a bit of this. I feel like this has gone a bit too far in this side here. A bit more of this. There you go. I'm going to reduce the highlight in the lower parts of the hair here. Yeah, I like that much better. Subtle changes here and there. Okay. Yeah, as per me, previous email is saying that you just have to fight against your instinct of not doing more highlights. Just go for it. Just do it. And I've never regretted adding more contrast into a mini, personally. So. This is looking lovely. I'll probably finish this off camera because I'm running a bit too late, and I didn't want to be here for so long, so I will do the braids probably tomorrow or the day after that. Yeah. You can see how that highlight works very well to convey shininess. Really makes the hair look like it's shining. realize I need to add a highlight there, just here. There you go, much better. No, I don't. Gomethar is asking if I never deposit my pen in a paper towel or something. No, I don't. I just control it here, and then maybe test it in my thumb if I feel like there's too much. But no, I don't. Maybe if I'm going to do a very precise glaze, and I by no means want a lot of paint in my brush, maybe I will do it, but for the most part that's not really how I do things. I'm going to blend this a bit better. There you go. I'm pretty happy with that. Nice contrast. Now I'm going to take, well, I was going to take, oh, I know what I'm going to take. We were speaking about it before. Ivory. I'm going to mix a bit of ivory with my sunny skin tone. Let me take that a bit lower so you can see it. Ivory is a fantastic off-white color, really nice, and we can create. It has a bit of yellow in it, which really helps creating a very intense highlight without desaturating it too much. You could also probably use ice yellow for this, but I believe that desaturating it is a nice thing. So I'm just going to reinforce this even more. Again, going, oops, this is out of focus. Oh, there you go. So you can see how that highlight really emphasizes the shine quite nicely. So again, like this, which already looks nice, to this, it looks amazing. Don't mind if I say it myself, I'm really happy. I really like painting hair. It's one of those things that I don't know why, but I just really enjoy it. Especially this kind of very nice volumes. Such a joy to paint this bust. So well sculpted. Don't be afraid if you feel like you have a harsh transition. Don't be afraid to use your finger to wipe a tiny bit up. I sometimes do it, or my brush. Like there. What's my favorite food? That's a really good question. Not sure, really. Probably something with eggs. Eggs is probably what I enjoy eating the most. I ate the most amazing eggs Benedict. Funny enough, it was in a Disney hotel in Orlando, in the, I think it was the Metropolitan, can be? No, the Contemporary hotel in Orlando Disney in my honeymoon. And that was amazing. I still remember it to this day, so it was that good. He also made some mean fish tacos, which were also amazing. I really love food, so something that maybe we shouldn't start talking about because I can be here forever. But yeah, if I had to choose just one ingredient or one thing, it for sure would be eggs. Going to mix a bit more of this. I'm so happy with this. This is looking just how I wanted it to look. Yep. I'm happy with that. I'm going to highlight the back of the head here. You can see that well. There you go. Super happy. Yeah, I really like that. Probably going to emphasize a bit more the highlights here near the head. Oh, this is way too much. I'm going to blend this back a bit. So I'm probably going to take sunny skin tone and emphasize. I will have to blend that with the blending mix that I made there. There you go. Just with a bit more shine towards the. I'm going to thin this a bit more. So I have my sunny skin tone. You can see it's thinner than what I did for the rest of the hair. And I'm just going to apply this highlight around her face. It's kind of like the hair reflecting the skin tone around it, and I think it looks amazing. Super happy with that. So I'm going to add one more highlight. As will be pure ivory, super thin. You can see how thin that is there. See, it looks thicker in my finger, but here in the palette you can see that it's almost non-existent. And I'm going to do just the dots of this. Just to make this look just ridiculous. Yeah, but Spanish eggs are quite good quality. Especially we have here some free-range eggs that have quite a bit of controls and regulations, so they make sure that the chickens are happy, that they eat natural things and not crap, and the eggs are absolutely incredible. You wouldn't believe how good the eggs are here. It's one of the advantages of living in the Basque country where I live, is that we really care about our food a lot. We don't mess around with our food. Yeah, that's looking amazing. I'm super happy with that. And as you can see, I went almost pure white here, so don't be afraid. This goes from a very, very dark brown to almost pure white, and it doesn't look off in any way, shape or form. It just looks shiny and amazing, which is what I wanted. I wanted her hair to look lush and super shiny. It's very important when you paint busts that you emphasize all the textures and you make them different. So hair, it not only has to be painted in the correct color, but you have to really make sure that it behaves like the hair would do when light hits it. That is very important, and that is the hardest thing about painting bust, of course, is that you really have to understand light and how it behaves. Yeah. Yeah, we are quite happy. We are quite lucky in Spain about the quality of the food that we have. We have crap food, of course, like in every other single country in the world, but the truth is we are quite spoiled for choice in terms of good food. Happy Retic now wants eggs. Yeah, we all do. Eggs are amazing. Yeah, I think that's basically it. I'm very happy with this. I'm just going to do the final touches. I'm happy with the level of contrast that we have. I'm going to make this a bit more saturated. So I'm going to take Lamenter's Yellow and Blood Letter. This is like the holy grail. I have this is 30 ml bottle. I think got like three pots of each when they were discontinuing it. I also have the other two. It's like, yeah, that is pretty amazing. I love these paints, and I'm going to do a couple of drops of this and a couple of drops of Blood Letter to make like an orange glaze, just to make this look a bit more saturated, because as I said at the beginning of the video, this looks way less saturated on camera than it looks on the model. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to apply this orange glaze maybe here towards the shadow parts, like this. As you can see, I'm not touching the highlights. I don't want them to look to lose shine, and just concentrate on this in the mid-tones, part of the shadows, and the secondary reflections where the hair is reflecting other stuff. And I can use this to also tone down some of the highlights if I feel like they have gotten out of control, but that's not really the case. I'm pretty happy with them. here a bit. Maybe here a tiny bit in the surrounding areas. But yeah, this is super subtle, not really going to make a big difference. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. That looks exactly how I wanted it to look. I think I'm going to tone down the highlights here. I think they have gone a bit too far from what I wanted. It's kind of rubbing away from the highlights on the front, so I'm going to tone them down, make it a bit more saturated, and let the sides shine a bit more. So guys, I think that would be it for today. It's quite late, and I had a great time. So I also hope you really had a great time with me. I said I was going to try and paint the crown, but I don't have time. This has taken a bit more time than what I was expecting. So I'm going to leave that for the next video. That may happen on Twitch. So stay tuned to my Facebook page, which you can find in the description, or Twitter, or my other social media, or the community page of the YouTube channel. Go and take a look. Because I will probably announce in the video there when I'm about to go live stream. So I really hope you enjoy this one, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.